Former Secretary of State Michael Pompeo said about him, the world's population continues to grow and we need to use the resources we have more productively and efficiently. Dr. Rattan Lal's research in soil science shows that the solution to this problem is right under our feet. He is helping the Earth's estimated 500 million small farmers be faithful stewards of their land through improved management, less soil degradation, and the recycling of nutrients. A very warm welcome to the new episode of Ink and Insights. This is your host, Sumit Sharma Shamir. This is a Nepal-based podcast, and if you are interested in listening to the global thought leaders from around the world on different pertinent issues, please subscribe to my channel. I'm extremely pleased to welcome Professor Rattan Lal in my program today. Professor Lal is a distinguished university professor of soil science and director of the Rattan Lal Center for Carbon Management and Sequestration at the Ohio State University, as well as an adjunct professor of University of Iceland and the Indian Agricultural Research Institute in India. He has co-authored over 1,100 referred journal articles and more than 575 book chapters, has written and co-edited more than 100 books. He was included in the Thomson Writers list of the world's most influential scientific minds 2014 to 2016, and he is among Clarivate's highly cited researchers in agriculture 2014-2022. He was ranked number one globally and in the US among agricultural scientists of the world by research.com in 2023. He has received an honoris causa degree from 9 universities in Europe, USA, and the Asia. The Medal of the Honor from Spain in 2018, the Distinguished Service Medal of IUSS in 2018, and is Fellow of the 5 professional societies. He was President of the World Association of Soil and Water Conservation 1987 to 1990, International Soil and Tillage Research Organization from 1988 to 1991, Soil Science Society of America from 2006 to 2008, and the International Union of Social Sciences from 2017-2018. He is a chair in social science and goodwill ambassador for sustainability issues for the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture. Dr. Lal is a laureate of the World Agricultural Prize 2018, Glinka World Soil Prize 2018, Japan Prize 2019, US Avasthi IFFCO Prize 2019, Ariel Global Food Innovation Award 2020, World Food Prize 2020. India's Padma Shri Award 2021 and the Mahatma Gandhi Award for Environmental Protection 2022. What a pleasure and honor to welcome Mr. Lal in my show today. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, sir, I really want to get started with a very basic question. I feel we seem to have lost touch with the very basic building blocks of our life. Why is soil so important to us, sir?
Soil is very important because all terrestrial life depends on soil. There is no life without soil, and soil also depends on life. They are intricately interconnected. And the past civilization which have gone extinct has something to tell about the importance of soil. If the soil is degraded, if the soils are taken for granted, if soil health is not restored, then the people who depend on it also go the same fate as the soil that supports them. Soil and people are intricately interconnected because people are mirror image of the soil they live on. And when people are suffering, miserable, they pass their suffering to the land, and the land reciprocates. And this vicious cycle grips the poverty and miseries to the humanity. And therefore, the best alternative for us and the future generation is to look after, restore, protect, and sustainably manage our soil resources.
And what is soil health?
Soil health is a popular term to denote soil functions and soil quality. It refers to the biological properties of soil that affects its function and the capacity to generate ecosystem services. Soil health is more qualitative, and soil quality and soil function terms are more quantitative. But popularly, soil quality and soil functions are referred to as soil health, and it's used in that sense because health of planet, health of people, health of plants, health of animal, all depends on soil health. Therefore, the One Health concept, which says health of soil, plants, animal, people, environment, and planet, is one and indivisible.
And why do you think the quality of soil is degrading, and how can we really conserve and manage the soil?
Soil degradation is caused by land misuse and soil mismanagement. When people short and do not follow the regular methods of soil management, they do not adopt scientific practices, they adopt extractive practices. When they take away everything from soil and nothing is returned back, that's a greed. And that is what leads to soil degradation. It has happened in the past, it's happening now. So it's primarily land misuse and soil mismanagement and cutting corner for gaining quick returns.
Right. And what do you mean by when you say that land misuse? How can we use land rather than misusing it?
Well, when soil has a capacity to do something, but people try to get more out of it than what it has a capacity to produce. For example, if the soil is a sloping land, such as many land in the Himalaya region, in Nepal and other part of the sub-Himalayan areas, steep slopes, their cultivation for row crop production will cause accelerated erosion, severe runoff, and take away the very thin topsoil. And that is a land misuse. When soil is shallow and it's plowed up, then the topsoil, which are shallow, is depleted very soon. So soil should be used according to its capacity. And when it is used for something other than what it can produce, it's a misuse.
Right, right. So this one question often bothers me. I feel like, have we lost touch with the soil, land, and agriculture with the fourth industrial revolution? Say, for example, due to the growth of Internet of Things or cloud computing, etc., etc.
Well, since the Green Revolution, if that's what you mean, in the 1960s, we had, because of large human population growth, we have intensified the land use. We have intensified the production. We have adopted monoculture. We are focused on three crops, rice, wheat, and corn. Traditionally, we had multiple cropping system, complex rotation, where we grew many crops together. And we forgot the traditional crops, uh, which were, for example, pulses and root crops and uh, minor cereals such as sorghum, millet, teff, many other crops. So focusing on extractive crops such as rice, wheat, and corn alone, and not following the complex system that we have been used, has aggravated the problem of soil degradation.
Right, right. You understand also very well. You have been from India itself. There's a thinking these days that dominates kind of our part of world, wherein it's been viewed that working in the agriculture sector is considered backward. How do you want to respond to such kind of thinking?
This is very unfortunate, but it is a correct statement. If you ask people where do you want to send your children to study, they will talk about medical college, engineering, IT, um, anything else but agriculture. And yet, agriculture is the most important profession because food production is so critical and everything depends on the quality and quantity of the food produced. So, how could this profession be backward? I think it is this thinking that has also neglected our soil resources. In our culture, in Hindi culture, in Sanskrit culture, Uttam Kheti. Kheti was always considered Uttam
Right.
more than anything else. And we forgot our roots, we forgot our culture. Right now, unfortunately, the students who cannot get admission anywhere else engineering, medicine, IT, and other profession which they think are more prestigious, then they all right, I'll study agriculture.
Right.
This should not be the case. We must have the brightest and the best students coming into agriculture because it is the profession on which our life depends, on which the quality of future generation depend, on which the health of the environment depends. So it should be given very high priority. I think the society does not respect land and soil. We forgot that in our culture, soil, bhumi, prithvi, vasundhara, dharti mata.
Hmm.
We forgot that slogan, dharti mata.
Right, right. So, and how can we make in that context agriculture more pro nature and pro farmer?
It's education, education of the general public, education of the policymaker, and education of the farmer themselves. If farmers do not think that what they are doing is very respectful, then who else will think that? So, the one part that we should try to do, in addition to communication and creating awareness, is reward farmer appropriately. If the farmers are always poor and they're desperate and miserable, then of course everybody else thinks this is a miserable profession. In this case, rewarding farmer for ecosystem services, such as if farmers mitigate climate change by carbon sequestration, if they improve water quality and quantity, if they increase biodiversity, they should be rewarded for those ecosystem services in addition to what we buy from them, food crops like wheat or rice and chickpeas and so forth. So I have been recommending paying farmer $50 per credit of sequestering carbon, and one credit is 1 metric ton of CO2. In general, farmers can sequester by better practices 2 credit per acre per year. That means society should be willing to pay them $100 per acre per year for their help in mitigating and adaptation to climate change. That will improve income of the farmer. That will increase their lifestyle. That will improve their well-being. They will be able to adopt modern living style practices. Therefore, their respect and dignity will be improved. It is the society, we are not paying them enough.
Exactly, exactly. And the kind of respect is also not given enough to.
Not enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
even if you look at the income of a graduate in medical science versus engineering versus IT compared to agricultural graduate, their salary differ by a factor of 2, 3, 5.
Right.
Because the society does not value agriculture. So it is really perception, it's a value issue. And it requires, again, awareness about our culture, that we have forgotten our roots. And a society that forgets their roots have gone extinct. I hope that will not happen to the current organization. I just wrote an article called Soil, Spirituality, Stewardship, and the concept that soil and its management should be not only a technical solution, but also a spiritual and theological solution.
Can you, sir, please highlight the connection between soil and its spiritual aspect of it?
Well, going back to again our culture, our Vedas, they indicate Kshati Jal Pavak Gagan Samira. Soil, space, water, air, energy. Panch Tattva Adam Sharira. Human body is made of these 5 elements. Therefore, if these 5 elements and the first one of them is soil are degraded, the human health will also degrade. And therefore, our scripture always consider, and I'm not talking about only Hindu scriptures, it's the same concept in Christianity, in Judaism, in Islam. All of them have one thing in common: protect your soil resources. Do not degrade nature. Buddhism says do not harm nature by even cutting a branch of a tree. So this is a part which is we have forgotten that we are part of nature, and we should protect and restore and improve nature, of which the foundation is soil.
Right. What are the likely scenario you see if the degradation continues the way it has been continued right now?
I'm very optimistic. I think humanity, with education, with creating awareness, with media such as what you are doing, uh, human will realize that it is in their best interest to look after the soil and protect and restore them, and do not degrade, and do not misuse them, use them properly. I think it will happen. I do not want to think of a scenario when humanity will be so ill informed and make irrational decision. I cannot think of that. I
Right.
am very sure, I'm very optimistic that with the communication, with knowledge, with creating awareness, with education, things will certainly improve. And they are already improving at a global scale, and at many, many countries. Policymakers are aware that soil and agriculture has to be given proper respect that it deserves.
Right. You have already touched upon slightly, but I'd like to probe this further. What are the connection that you see between soil health, food security, and overall human well-being?
Well, going back to again our Vedic culture, it is very clearly said food is medicine. It says when food is right, medicine is of no need. And when food is not right, medicine is of no use. It's simple as that. Good food is a good medicine, and good food comes from a healthy soil. To a hungry man, even God can only appear in a form of a loaf of bread made from grains grown on a healthy soil. So, bread, in fact, is the God. And this is the way we have to make sure that people understand. So, the link between healthy food and healthy soil and spirituality has to be strengthened. Uh, they go together. So science is definitely very important, but such a complex issue which the global community is facing these days, food security, nutrition security, and I should differentiate between the two. Food is enough calories, 2,400 kilocalories per person per day. About 800 million people are food insecure. But hidden hunger, malnutrition, affects more than 2 billion people. Almost 3 billion people in the world do not have access to safe, healthy, and nutritious food. So, that nutrition part, which means deficiency of protein, deficiency of vitamin, deficiency of 17 micronutrients, iron deficiency, for example, very common in South Asia, in Nepal, in India, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, Bhutan, others, Sri Lanka, is a very serious problem because our soils are depleted and degraded. They are devoid of micronutrients. Therefore, food produced on them do not have enough micronutrients. Therefore, the health of people who consume that food are sick and not very healthy, especially children and nursing mother. So this trend has to be reversed. Soil health improvement is critical to health of people and their prosperity and well-being.
And what role do you see, soil science playing in addressing global challenges such as land degradation, desertification, and biodiversity loss?
Soil science is making good progress. national societies of soil science, such as Soil Science Society of America, Indian Society of Soil Science, many other society at national level. They have annual meetings. They have many publications. They have many books. Our soil science curriculum has been teaching these issues that we just talked about, but there's a need to revise our curriculum as we see the global issues are emerging, and soil health has become a major factor as a determinant of human health, and we need to revise curriculum accordingly. Many times, human health issue is not taught in agricultural colleges, and yet it is very important. We should be teaching nutritional quality of the food and linking it to soil quality. There are no direct classes that fit into the curricula. Uh, National curricula at a college level primarily talk generic subject: soil chemistry, soil physics, soil classification, soil microbiology, but they do not teach how soil quality management can impact human health. Those changes in curriculum are necessary. The Minister of Health, Minister of the Medical and other concept, they should realize that soil health, by influencing nutritional quality of the food, has a strong impact on human health. Therefore, the preventive health measurement uh, must consider soil health management, soil quality management, environment management as critical factor to improving human health.
Right, right. So, and perhaps a very basic understanding of soil science itself might also need to be introduced to some of the other disciplines as well. So, people pursuing the other discipline also understand, the importance of it. Right.
Absolutely. I think, just to give an example of what our traditional thing, uh, reading, writing, and arithmetic, 3R,
Yeah.
was the main. We have to go beyond that.
Right.
No, the basic teaching in primary and secondary school should have soil and the environment as important component of education, and they are not.
Yeah.
That's the that's the deficiency which we have to uh, overcome by making sure that right from the primary school, right from the kindergarten, children should know what a healthy soil looks like, where
True.
the healthy food comes from, how does a healthy soil smell. They should understand that soil is a home to the largest reservoir of biodiversity. Uh,
Exactly.
in soil live the microbes from which come 95% of the antibiotics that are used to treat human and animals. So these things are not known even when people pass high school or college, but
Right.
they are so concerned with becoming engineers and IT people, they forget the basic thing.
Right. So, and one, there are many instances of flood, drought problems in South Asia, and what are the reasons behind it, and what can be done to mitigate that?
The drought and floods in South Asia, especially Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, uh, are problems which are created by human. They're created by us, and we talk about land misuse and so. Last year, if you remember, one third of the Pakistan was under floods.
Exactly.
And it happened in India, it happened in Pakistan, it happened throughout where the Ganges, Indus, Brahmaputra, these mighty rivers pass through, they go through. The region which suffer from floods, few months after that, are the same region which suffer from drought. Why? Because the water which did not penetrate the soil was washed away. Therefore, when the soil dries out, there's nothing in it. So the drought and floods are the two sides of the same coin. Many years ago, Mr. Al Gore asked me what is the solution to flood problem in South Asia. And my suggestion to him was, sir, all the way from Pakistan to border of Burma and Cambodia, the lower hills, the so-called Shivalik hills, which about a century ago were covered with forests. Those hills have been denuded. Forests have been cut for firewood and for timber, and the cattle are grazing, and now those hills are bare. Therefore, the serious problem of flooding, because the bare hill cannot absorb the water, and they cause in the monsoon serious. Now, what is solution? The solution is afforestation. The long-term solution is afforestation. That means a close cooperation between the countries of South Asia. The South Asian country, Pakistan, India, and others, their common enemy is degraded soils and poor environment. And to improve that, they have to work together. They have to cooperate to show by satellite image that afforestation is happening and is effective. And this cooperation, they must realize that the common enemy, poor environment, therefore perpetual problem and miseries of flood and drought require cooperation, require peace, require respect for one another, but more importantly, require them to respect nature.
Right. Right.
They must not fight nature. And while they fight with one another, they invariably fight nature. You know, I've been recently thinking about, take the case of Europe, take the case of Ukraine and Russia. They are fighting on the world's best soil, Chernosem. Everybody talks about people dying and miseries and hunger and children and elderly suffering. Nobody thinks about the soil being polluted, degraded, contaminated, cratered, ruined for generations to come. Not if the war ends today, will those soils support good crop? No. Will they soil produce healthy food? No. The food will be contaminated with poisonous substances. So people forget that the silent sufferer of this human greed is the nature, is the soil. And this soil is going to suffer for generations to come. And because it suffers, because it has been polluted, it will also create miseries for the people that live on it. The same problem when we ignore nature in South Asia, we pay a very heavy price. There is a very simple rule: Mother Nature knows no mercy. Your mother will forgive you, but Mother Nature will never forgive its children who misbehave. When you destroy nature, nature will destroy you. And that is what the cause of flood and drought is in South Asia. So soil health is very important to improve water infiltration, water storage, and therefore mitigate drought.
So my last question to you would be, what would be your advice to the young generation of people from across the South Asia or beyond?
My suggestion will be, it's only suggestion, I think they should receive advice from their parents and their teachers. But my only suggestion, request, and plea and prayers that they must respect nature, that they must pay attention to soil, that they must protect, restore, and sustainably manage soil resources. And my suggestion to them is, soil is a living entity, and every living entity has rights. Therefore, soil also has rights to be protected, restored, and managed judiciously and properly. And destroying soil is like cutting a branch of a tree on which they are sitting. They should give high priority to learning soil. They should consider agriculture a very noble profession. We need the brightest and the best to come to this profession, and I hope that they will take this profession very seriously and give it the respect and dignity that it deserves.
Right, exactly. Perhaps schools will also learn how to, start these courses right from the beginning to the kids so that they understand the importance of it as well.
They must revise their curriculum to make soil and nature, environment from the part of kindergarten, primary school, middle school, and high school as integral to their curriculum. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really been an honor. You gave me your time despite being very busy. I'm really honored. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Good day.